Lovely. Bad morning, everybody. Allowed to have bad mornings, so I can say bad morning. Ugh. All right, so a little bit of a market rebound today. Say a little bit. When I went to bed, that's pretty much where I thought I saw it. Yeah, we triple topped, it looks like, overnight. Dropping a little bit right now. Things looking like a little bit of a rebound, but not much. INMD came back pretty hard, and they fell pretty hard yesterday. Right there, pretty hard fall yesterday. Bounce back up, looks like continuation. Probably likely. Tesla back up 3%. That's pretty nice. Wife sold all her Tesla yesterday. Told her to rebuy it. All right. Good morning, Eli. Good morning, Rob. Hopefully your morning's better than mine. Okay. Tesla ACB. TNA's up a little bit. It looked like it was starting to get going. You woke up, so it's a good day. That's good. So under the 50-day moving average. And yesterday, we fell under the 50-day, but we closed higher, and volume was slightly lower than the previous day, so I would not consider that a 50-day breach on good volume. Stupid. Today is going to be one of those days. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Come on, you piece of garbage. Can't get my menu. Ugh. One of those days. Speaking of one of those days, the market's having one of those days where you're not quite sure it's going to rally back, or you're not quite sure if it's just going to fall apart again. I'm not sure what's going on with the coronavirus this morning. Someone shared a pretty cool link on Slack yesterday about the coronavirus. See if I can find it. Yeah, my computer's decided to restart. Just cause. Just cause. Trying to find this website. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I'll share here in case anybody wants to sit here and crap their pants while they're at work. It's this one. And apparently it's getting too much use. Wuhan Coronavirus by John Hopkins. It never renders. Doesn't look like a View app. Probably is a React app. Anyway, it's supposed to show you a map of the world and corona cases and show you cases here and do some other stuff. Don't know the updates on the coronavirus this morning, but can't imagine we've solved it already. These things take a few months to hash out usually. And they're pretty good at containing people. There's one case in Arizona through ASU. He's a doctor in ASU. We were down in ASU while he was, actually, I think while he came back. So, I don't know. Maybe we've all got coronavirus and we don't even know it. It's good knowing everyone. What is that? Is that today? I think, oh, that's today. Interesting. A pop right up towards resistance there and then firmly back down again. Oh, earnings. That's why 183. That thing is still not loading. I'm not having good tech luck today. All right, Skyworks coming back a little bit. D.R. Horton was on fire yesterday. CCC's Clairvite Analytics. Oh, this was Carbon Copy or something. Ooh, MongoDB is a leader right there. MongoDB does your body good. It's going to be my new slogan. Wife probably won't like it, but it's funny. Domino's Pizza, how are you doing here? Well, not too bad. Yesterday we kind of had an awkward reversal day. A lot of volume at the end here. It's pretty much where most of the volume came in, which is unfortunate these days. Oh yeah, I can't get the other tools. Leader in shitty databases. You know, some people are looking for shitty databases, Eli. What kind of database do you want? A really bad one. Okay. We have options. Square. I did add to Square a little bit yesterday. Today is looking not too bad, up towards the top of our leaderboard, only at 1% though. Nothing really to write home about, but the volume yesterday was pretty good. Fairly stable throughout most of the day. And we'll see if we're able to get over. We got a little plateau here, and that plateau area seems to be getting a little higher and higher. So there's our gap right here. SQLite for what? For shitty databases? That MongoDB had a... There we go. The MongoDB had a monopoly on shitty databases. Oh, yeah, that's right. I can't click on anything. I'm not having a good morning, so... Looks like it's going to be a session of real bitchy crypto. Or real bitchy stocks. I call it real bitching. That's what I'm going to call it. Real complaining. Drawing tools. Here we go. Oh, see, yeah, I can't set the date. I thought that'd be a thing. All right, let's go to 2-4... Something like that. There we go. All right. And we are above that line. Been playing with it the past couple of days. And if we can firmly get above it, that would be good. Our 5-minute volume diminishing a little bit. lower than that, lower than that. So this may pause and give it up at some point, but so far Square looking like it. Oops, sorry, just tapped the mic. Looking like it may start to break that long-term trend line. Yeah, my thing still hasn't loaded. It's still just sitting here. I think that API has been hit too much or something. Yeah, I was gonna actually bought GBTC with my Roth yesterday. Um, because the market was looking a little bit iffy. I had some cash, and Bitcoin appears to be in a good spot. So I kind of just went long a little bit of Bitcoin yesterday. We'll see how it goes. So far, it's not doing too bad. We'll look at it here. Looks like we've got Tron. So they're rotating into garbage coins. Ethereum Classic's still part of that pack. So it looks like they're still jumping into that. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty decent stuff yesterday. Bitcoin Cash, not too bad. So we're still continuing the move in the markets, and I jumped in on some GBTC for the Roth. Okay, still got a little bit of cash left. Not bad. And that's not going to work. All right, let's take a look at some long-term turnaround plays. There we go. So we have Skyworks, which is already well extended. Light, also pretty extended. Square appears to be, this is the one we're looking at. Trying to get it started. Or I should say it's trying to get started. We're just trying to ride along. Alibaba topped out a little bit due to Corona. It's a direct China play that makes a little bit of sense. Restoration Hardware already broken out as well. AAXN, been playing with a breakout here for a minute. We tried it once. Didn't want to work out very well. Bye, babe. I already forgot which menu it was that got me what I wanted. Ah, horrible. It's too much. So we'll see if AAXN here. We'll see if that's going to get going. It's being a little bit choppy at some point. I can imagine this thing will start to run though. Um, so nothing too bad right there unless we go into a general correction. Then obviously everything's on the table in terms of downside movements. Docu already pretty much gone. EVR still in the middle of this 2-year declining wedge here, which isn't too bad. You can see here it had a declining wedge here that popped up and then just chopped us to death for another 2 years, form a much larger trend line, then broke that one and decided to go off to the races. Where's my stupid... this is garbage. What is this? And why are you like... No, I don't want to add this to my chart. Chart describer. Okay. Okay, so it's the arrow. Oh, how come I don't have... Oh, this would be the line. Ew, I see what they're doing. That's stupid. Stupid. I'm not in a good mood this morning. EVR. Again, like I said, this one in a situation where it declined, and yeah, this little base over here is interesting. So it takes me 45 minutes to retool my tools. So we kind of had a declining trend line right there, which broke beautifully. Did not go very far, and then formed another declining trend line. Actually gave you a buy point of that, which you probably could have had an example or a possibility of jumping in early based on this right there. That was a nice run from about 60 to 80, 50 to 80. A little bit difficult to get involved though, but definitely ended up working out. We'll see how that one plays out. Domino's Pizza, another one that we're hawking this chart on. Trying to wait to see if that's going to break out of its shell. Oh, this is horrible. So it's already undercut this low over here. So it's already undercut and rallied still down here in towards decent buying area if you're looking for lower risk entry points. Maybe another pop down here. But the problem is if it pops down like this, I would assume it should rally relatively quickly. It's only been a couple of days, so a little more time could be warranted. But if the market pops, this is definitely going to have to start popping, I think. Otherwise, I think it's going to run the risk of just continuing the consolidation, maybe rolling over. Netflix came up. We watched that top the other day. That basically topped and rolled right over. PFP, PIMF, PUNF, BIB, and Court. So Domino's Pizza still up there for long-term turnaround play. So is AAXN. This one's actually broken out already a little bit. And the market, 0.71%. We're not good. We're not bad. We're just waiting. It's basically what we're doing at this stage of the game. I was leading us PII on earnings this morning. LK on a rebound from the 200 daily moving average. Right there. Precedent says that's likely a good place to get this guy. Whoops. I don't want to do that. Anyway, there's a loose test here. There's kind of a bounce through down here. This is also this is the 10-week moving average. The 40 week's not on that chart. Oh, that means this is a 50-day. My bad. That one's a 50-day. So tested the 50-day moving average. So actually, maybe this is the first test of the 50-day moving average in this run. So in theory, this makes it buyable, but I guarantee this is huge. Yeah, it's about 12%, 10%. It's way too big to arbitrarily say, oh, I bought on the 50-day test. You'd have to buy much lower. And in fact, it never got to the 50-day. It only got down to about 4%. So even your buy was elevated on LK. But yeah, if you're willing to accept a little bit of risk right there, or a little more than a little bit of risk, you'll probably do pretty good. INMD, as we mentioned, pulling back today. Well, bouncing up a little bit. It's been pulling back recently. MJ. Most of the MJ stock's been hammered, but right back down again. So no major volume on the pop-up today. We'll see how that goes. JD, another China play. Actually holding relatively well, I would argue. Much better than Alibaba. Square's up 2% now, so maybe this is finally starting to get a little bit of momentum in a market that's cautious right now. It's a cautious market, and Square's actually pretty good. Look at the move on Square yesterday. It's very bullish most of the day. Got bobbled in the last third of the day, I would say, but volume was relatively low. But even throughout the day, volume, you had these nice high volume spikes. So I'm not really mad at Square. I got a decent position size in it. I probably could... This probably looks like one of the best trades right now on the table, to me at least. Break it out of a long-term turnaround play, which is brilliant, and looking pretty good while the market's bobbling. You see two red days here, and Square had a bobble, but ended up closing higher both of these days. And then so far today, trying to break out of a range. If the market's going to rebound, look, you can look for Square for some leadership. And it starts to rocket out there a little bit. I'm going to add another one. Just going to keep adding to this thing. There we go. Let's add to Square. Look at the volume. The volume was a little bit trepidatious earlier, not very high, and then we have a nice follow-through candle that's equal with the opening candle. So while our opening sequence isn't necessarily that large, not bad here on the follow-through. So hopefully we'll continue a little bit. We don't have to, go for 15% higher today, but if we ended up closing anywhere above here, I think would be really nice. We could stop here throughout the whole day, and I think that would be good. Going up to like 73, 74 would just be a major bonus. All right, AYX almost meeting my full measured move here. Or I'm sorry, the target out of the inverted head and shoulders. Getting up towards a resistance point, being the prior high. You see a very large pattern here on the weekly chart. Huge volumes too on the weekly chart. So base of 42, 43% is too deep to be a good cut base. There's no market correction, so you can't take that into account. And yeah. So I think it's just an inverted head and shoulders with a reversal so far. You could go on to form something else up here, but nothing quite yet. No major breakout volume in this one, but it did break out of that head and shoulders pattern. Inverted head and shoulders pattern pretty well. Tesla trying to come back. I mean, it just really didn't go anywhere. I mean, it's holding the 10-day moving average. You can't be mad at something holding the 10-day moving average. You just can't. All right, AYX again. JD Restoration Hardware. I think I'm going to take off a little bit early today, guys. I got a couple things to do. Is trash day. I got to gather all the damn trash, so I'm going to do that. Went to a programming meetup last night that was pretty awesome. Had a lot of fun. Met a couple of cool people. Met a nice guy that was willing to chat with me, and yeah, really fun. Told me about something that him and his team made, a pretty cool access system. So you go up to a house or an apartment complex, you scroll through the names. This one had a video camera tied to an app on someone's phone, and they could see who was there and let them open the gate, which was pretty dope. But they said they built that from scratch. All the hardware, the software. It was pretty cool. Took me back to my audio video days. I'm like, hey, I know that stuff. Well, at least how to implement it, not how to build it. Maybe one day. All right, let's look at the bottom. SLV, like Rob's mentioning, not having a good day today. I guess coronavirus isn't... Where's the coronavirus memes with the beer? That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for beer virus is what I'm looking for. ENDP, D-Dog, still is a non-starter. I've been looking at this thing, especially here recently as the market was looking pretty bullish, and it just never had any interest. Carvana, this one's loosely interesting to me, trying to bounce up off of, there's a gap between the 200 daily moving average right here and what everything else is. And we're down near that level. This could be an interesting place for Carvana if we end up turning around. You got about 16, 17, 18% there to recent highs. And the last time we did that, it took us 20 days to go up 23%. So you could argue there's a decent case here once we do start to get going that we can make a nice swift run up to those highs. And that doesn't even, so here it got to the highs and bobbled it and then came back. So, pick your poison on that one. But Carvana, generally in an uptrend, holding the 200-day moving average pretty nicely there. So that could be an interesting one. Opinion on 2 weeks of KGKG. Let's take a look. Hey, boo boo. Not too bad. Is that me or them? Um, I mean, it's holding up higher. It is a semblance of a bull flag. It's not super tight or super structured, unfortunately. It's okay. I mean, the volume has been declining fairly nicely, a couple of spikes, but can't do much about that. Not too bad. Yeah, it's okay. I think with the whole MJ market had a similar move. This one actually holding up better than the MJ ETF. The MJ ETF is right back down here, so this one holding up isn't horrible. I think if you're holding for the next 2, 3, 5 years, if this is something you want to hold for that, I think this is probably a decent place to get involved because what's going to happen is I think it's just going to be volatile, and then through the election cycle, you're going to end up with, blah 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 blah. But I think there's a general consensus that MJ is going to get um, a little more rights, a little more freedom, the right to do business and stuff like that, which could bode well. If I remember right, this is a drink company, right? So, yeah, you want to look into them and see how they're doing. Specifically if you're looking at an individual name, I think because this is over the counter, Finviz isn't going to have any information on it, and you got to do a little bit of research there. Yeah, see, Finviz has nothing on it, so you got to know a little bit more about this particular company, especially when it's had reverse splits, making a stock worth $700 in hindsight, which it wasn't. I guarantee you, it reverse splitted itself into the dust. This was probably worth like $8 or something like that. So, I mean, this is a dangerous spot to be in, to be honest with you, down this far. But yeah, it'd be great if this could reverse back higher, and you know, this is eventually worth $1. Obviously, that's going to be really good, but they're very, very risky propositions, these ones. So you really got to do your due diligence, and if they're regional, you got to make sure that they're maxing out their region, they're maxing out their distribution, and then they have to find new distributors, and then they have to find distributors in other region. You got to look for that progression out, and there's guys whose job it is to do that. So, oh, is this the one where there's a gap? There's a year. Is this the one where there's a year gap? Yeah, 11, 12, 13. Anyway, okay, fair enough. But yeah, I think you still got to do a little bit of research on this one, other than what you'll find on message boards. Call the company up. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can do. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Market's doing pretty good, actually, bouncing back decently. Some of the good ones are doing good. Okta, this should be on my long-term. It's not really long-term turnaround, but I think it should also be on that list, to be honest with you. I don't think we saw it there. I think it's important that it is there. It's been in a nice downtrend here for the past 6 or 7 months, and so I think it's loosely going to start qualifying for that long-term turnaround list, or it is qualifying for the long-term turnaround list. And yeah, it's holding relatively well here, even though it's actually looks like a cup and handle right there. If my tools will let me do what I want to do, which they won't. Yeah, look right there. There's your cup and handle. And so your buy point is right about there. Yeah, holding these lows is pretty good. I could use probably the 20-period moving average. Actually, that's the 20-period moving average. Maybe the 50 as your stop, but at least under these lows, $3 and $127 stock isn't too bad for Okta. But if the market's going to get bullish on us, that's about 2.8%, 3%. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's good. That's good, Rob. Region and distribution still expanding. Yeah, that's what you want to look at. If you, however you get that information, go in there and pretend to be a distributor and ask them what their capacity is or something. I don't know. Get some info. All right, guys, I'm going to bounce. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully, with a better day. Maybe my tools will work. I'm going to close this down, restart it. All right, guys, have a good day. Bye-bye.